everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I hope everyone had a good weekend. My project today is a gift holder for a Brussels Stover Melt-Away Hot Santa's Hot Cocoa. They're really cute. They're shaped like Santas, and when you put them in milk, they make hot cocoa. The actual box measures 4.5 by 3 by 3/4. Alrighty, and I use, now this was a challenge that I got to pick for my upline for the whole team, was to make a Christmas project with something, a die or stamp set that was not Christmas added in. Alrighty, so I chose the Cup of Tea stamp set and the Teacup dies. I also added in, though, some Decorated with Happiness for the greeting, and the dies that match it. I actually used this little die here for the little greens. Alrighty. I also used the rectangle stitch dies for the outer, this DSP, the red DSP, and the stylish shapes for the square of the Snowflake Vellum. The DSPs are the Santa's Express for the red and the green here that's in the background, and then the Snowflake Specialty Vellum for inside. Okay, I heard from one of the people for the prizes. I don't want to say who because I don't want anybody to contact me saying that's them. We have Kathleen Williams for the pencils and the embossing folder, Jonathan B for the Bottled Happiness stamp set and the ribbon, and Dina Ramirez for the stamp set and the block. Alrighty, if you are one of those three, I know the person that sent me an email knows that they already contacted me, but I have 2 more to go. Alrighty, if I don't hear from you, I'd say a week, so that would be Friday. I'll redraw. I still have all the names here, so I'll redraw 2 new people. Okay, so what we need for this project is some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of garden green cardstock that is 8 by 5 1/4. 2 pieces of the green pattern from Santa's Express DSP that are 2 7/8 by 4 3/8. And then this piece here I cut from the rectangle stitch dies, and it is 3 7/8 by 2 1/8. And I used for the Snowflake Vellum, I used the Stylish Shapes dies, and this is 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. So if you don't have the dies, you can just cut those. And then I cut 3 of the little pine sprigs from Garden Green using the, forgot the name, decorated pine dies. Alrighty, and of course I used the Teacup dies to cut out the cup. Alright, so let's start with our piece of Garden Green that is 8 by 5 1/4. Oh, if I didn't show you how this comes out. I did. I think I did. And if you're afraid that it'll fall out, it's kind of tight, but you can just put a glue dot or 2 on the back to hold it in. This is my host code. If you're going to spend anything under $150, please put that in. Okay, now we're going to start on the 8-inch side, and we're going to score at 3/4, 3 3/4, 4.5, and 7.5. Okay, then we're going to turn it to the 5 1/4 inch side, and we're going to score at 3/4. And all of these measurements are on my blog, which is linked below. Alright, now I'm just going to fold and burnish. Okay. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, this is one of the easier projects I've done. Alright, So we have the skinniest rectangle on the right, and then there is a 3/4 inch strip on the bottom and the left hand side. All right, we're going to start on the left hand side on the bottom. I'm going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. Then we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and then we want to wedge up a little bit into the skinny rectangle. All right, and that's what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring it and cutting it. Okay, now we want to get some tear and tape, and I'm going to put it on what's left of the skinniest rectangle close to the score line. I'm going to get my take your pick tool and take the backing off. Now I'm going to flip over the side with the tape, and flip this other side to meet it. Now this is the back of our box, okay? So we're going to put the tabs in, and I want to put just a little bit of glue on each tab and put the back side on top, and then we're going to put some glue on the back of the front flap. Okay, when you close it, just make sure all the sides line up very well. Okay, now flip it over and put your take your pick tool in and make sure that those side tabs go down. Okay, and that's what your box should look like when you're done. Okay, now we need a piece of Santa's Express DSP that is 2 7/8 by 4 3/8, and we're going to put one on the front and one on the back. And I'm going to use liquid glue. Okay, now let's put this to the side for a minute and let's just do some stamping. All right, so we need our piece of basic white, and we're going to be using Real Red and Garden Green ink. For the teacup or hot cocoa cup for this, we're going to use Real Red. Good. Oops. And for the sentiment, Christmas greetings, I am going to use Garden Green, and we're going to cut it out with this die from the Stylish Shapes dies. So the greeting is from Decorated with Happiness stamp set, but you could use whatever you have. Just make sure you leave enough space for the die to cut it out. Okay, and I'm going to put this on here. Just try to get it even all around. And I'm going to put my low tack tape on there. And then the teacup die. Alright, and I'm just gonna cut this piece off and cut them out, and I'll be right back. Okay, and there are my die cuts. Alrighty, now what we're gonna do here, whoops, not yet, is we're going to put our piece, our rectangle from the rectangle stitch dies. This is also Santa's Express DSP, and this one comes out to be 3 7/8 by 2 1/8. 3 7/8, 2 1/8, this way. All right, and we're going to put it so that the sides and the bottom all are about, I'd say, 1/8 of an inch from the sides. The top's going to have a little more because that's where we're going to put our bow. All right, so I'm just going to attach this now. Alrighty. Now to attach our, decide which way you want it. To attach this, I'm going to put the cup on it. Decide where you want your cup. And then just hold it there. And that's where you're going to put your glue so that it's hidden Even though it does dry clear, it does have a little bit of a mark. So I'm just going to put this down. And the same thing, the bottom and the two sides are going to have, this time it's a little bit less. I'm not sure if I don't think it's a 16th, but it's less than an 8th around the sides. Okay. Alrighty, now for the sprigs. What did I do with them? Here they are. Okay, remember I cut 3 out of garden green using the decorated pine dies, and I'm going to put 2 in the top of the cup like that. So I'm going to use my silicone mat. Alright. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom. And this one I'll have sticking up right here. This one I wanted a little higher, so I'm going to use this one, and I'm only going to get the very bottom. Okay, I'm going to put this, I want it to stick up a good amount off the left side of the teacup. And then I'm going to stick the other one next to it, kind of pointed the other direction, but just a little bit lower. All right, the third one we'll leave till the end. All right, then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put some dimensionals and some mini dimensionals. So I'm going to put dimensional right on the end of those 2 sprigs just to keep that nice. And I'm going to put a mini dimensional right on the handle. Alright, and then I'm just going to space this where I want it. Alright, and then we're going to put this last one, just going to poke it under there. Okay. Okay, now we need our Christmas greetings sentiment. And I'm going to put this in between the top of the vellum and the top of the red DSP. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take a hole punch, and I'm going to go on the top here close to the red, but I don't want to cut the red. And right in the middle, I'm going to put 2. Okay. And then I'm going to take our iridescent trim, and I'm going to put it through the right hole from the inside to the outside, and then through the left hole from the inside to the outside. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie a bow. All right, and I'm just going to clip it off. I'm just going to kind of try to, yeah, so they don't cover up the sentiment. I'm just going to trim this one a little. There we go. I'm just going to kind of twirl them out a little bit. All right, and for the final touch, well, now we can put in our Melt Away Santas. For the final 2 touches, actually, first I'm going to put a little bit of Wink of Stella glitter on the sprigs. It just gives it a little bit of sparkle. Doesn't have to cover every single piece, but just a little bit on each. Right, and then for the final touch, I'm going to use the red and green adhesive backed pearls that have silver and gold also. And I'm going to use the silver, and I'm going to put them right here on the right edge of the top of the cup. Okay, and that's it. If you have any questions, my email is below. There is the link to my blog that has all the measurements, the link to purchase any of these products, my Stampin' Up shop, and also the link to join if you would like to join my team. Alrighty, please subscribe and hit the like button, and if you're going to order under $150, please put my host code in, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.